will have just a couple of, because we want to really finish in 10 minutes or so. So I will first of all recognize Governor Ndiritu Muriithi to speak, and then CEC Mandera, and then after that I will pick on two others.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I think I'd like to pick it from where the last panelist stopped, because the big debate, certainly in Laikipia, that I've been having with people in the health sector, is that the conversation is very often about specialists. But if we're interested in UHC, then the conversation needs to be about the community health worker. Now, she asked the question, can we sustain CHVs? The answer is yes. Last financial year, I spent 31 million to support the CHV structure. The immediate return is 150 million in direct capitation from NHIF, because the CHVs are the ones who are helping us to recruit people using an electronic platform of Mjali into NHIF. So the monies that came, not just to the public sector we got about 59 million, or 50, yeah, about 50, or 59 million. The rest of it went to private clinics, went to private hospitals and faith-based hospitals. Direct capitation. And you have not started to look at what they are reimbursed for the services that they have actually provided. So our view and our evidence is that you can sustain, and we are able to sustain the CHV structure and be able to also train them. I think the only two other points I would like to make, because I recognize how many who need to speak, is like this, and I want to address the union colleague. Now, the CBA is forcing counties to break the law. Yeah, that's the way it is. So, and in fullness, the matters, I guess, will be canvassed in court, and we have to. But the CBA is forcing counties to break the law. Like which law? Public Finance Management Act, that stipulates that, in fact, a public officer could go to jail for 2 years for not sustaining what we say fiscal responsibility, which is that there has to be a relationship between the monies you spend in salaries and wages across your system and the monies you spend on other things like development budget. Now, the law says you should not be spending more than 35% of your budget on wages and salaries. Most of us are in 50, 60, 70% of budget goes to wages and salaries. Now, is it realistic? Is it sustainable for the future? It is not. What we do have to do is to confront it. Now, if you then layer on that, say the WHO UHC cube is a good place to start, that you have to ask yourself a question: what proportion of this population is being served? Now, if you are going to achieve UHC, is that the whole population must be able to be served. Then you have to look on the other dimension: what services are you actually able to serve this population with? And you then have to look at the financing of it. So all those three things need to be happening and moving in the right direction if you are to actually achieve UHC. Now, for us, the reason we've made choice to invest in CHVs, to invest in public health, is because we can, the direct result, at that level of preventive, promotive, we are spending 250 shillings per citizen per year. At the level, and we don't have, like if we have district hospitals too, so level 4. They're not provincial or level 4, so district hospitals. At that level, it is 11,000. And these are just HR costs. So, obviously, it is more realistic for us as a nation and as a society to invest in ensuring that people are not getting sick in the first place. But then, sick they will get at some point. then you must say, what are we doing in primary health? What are we doing at dispensary and at health center? Long before, and for instance, I'll give you another number. Our system in Laikipia, we served 1.4 million visits in the whole system, so dispensaries up to the district hospital. We had 21,000 inpatients. So you have to look at, if the thing is about UHC, and I'm not saying you don't need a good ICU, a good thing, and a good hospital at level 4, but if the thing is about UHC, then our investment up to now is actually wrong. Because we are focused at how are we training specialists, how are we getting more facilities and what have you at level 4 and level 5 hospitals. And I'm not saying that that is not important, but that is not the way to UHC. So we have to make choices, we have to make trade-offs. The trade-off we are making in Laikipia is that we must focus on CHVs, we must focus on preventing and promoting. Finally, on the question of specialists, again, we have all inherited a circumstance that is, not realistic. So for instance, I inherited 24 specialists in the county. And I have another 36 in training, 9 of whom are going to report this September, on September 4th. What will I do? You understand? So, and yet we have invested 4 years of paying full-time salaries so that these good people could be specialists. So now we have to look at moving perhaps to the sub-county hospital and perhaps to a health center. And you have to really ask ourselves, is that the right way we should have been investing? And that is replicated in county after county. So the idea of having a more centralized way of training specialists, because we do need specialists, is a fantastic idea. The idea of figuring out who we need to post where is a fantastic idea so that we can optimize. But where we are now, we are not optimizing and we are not focused at the bottom of the pyramid that can deliver UHC to us. I think we should discuss these things very candidly and be able to then find solutions to them. Thank you.
I'm coming to you, Dr. Kimondo. I just want to see